Here I am. Hey, you with RW, the results driven by RW. Appreciate you guys being a part on tonight. Excited about what we're going to dive into. Hopefully, some stuff that's going to get you fired up and excited about your future, realizing that who you are today cannot make it to who you're becoming. So that means that if what you're doing right now is not working, then we got to fix it. Because obviously, if it's not working, then why keep doing it? I think the hardest thing in life is change, transition, moving from one place to another place. I'm really excited, especially for those that are got the special invite from your friends to come and be a part on tonight. We're going to dive into some good stuff. This is, we get a little conversational towards the end. Right now in the beginning, I'm going to give you a brief monologue. And from my monologue, I'm going to actually spark some dialogue to make sure that we can talk and discuss this stuff. Because my goal is that you don't leave this call without your questions being answered about where you're trying to go and what you're trying to get to. And I'm really excited too to hear about your 30-day challenge. Many of you I am seeing, we are touching bases, and I'm seeing you striving and making moves. So we're really excited that you guys took my 30-day challenge. For those of you that aren't a part, that's okay. You still can finish this month strong. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make you double up and do what the others did in 30. I'm gonna have you do in 15. Don't get the fooling with me. We'll get you straight. All right. So first thing, I'm gonna jump in. And tonight's topic, dun, da, 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 boss moves. That's right. We're gonna talk about boss move. I don't know if you're ready yet to really boss up in your life. In other words, there's some things you've been doing that I'm gonna start putting you on blast tonight to make you think. So if you came to feel comfortable, this is not that comfortable type of setting. This is that kick you in the butt. Let's go. Let's get these dollars, okay? Because ultimately, I don't think anybody on this screen is getting into business just because they want to have fun. You want to make money. And so results driven is all about getting you to that point to where now you can see the results that you deserve and you just haven't received just yet, okay? Or the ones you've received are good, but I'm gonna show you how to get them even better, all right? Biggest thing is a little housekeeping. I want you to take notes. If you're in a position to take notes, I know some of you guys are rolling. That's why we do record the setting to where you guys can listen to this a little later. Camera on if you can. I love to see your beautiful and smiling faces. If your teeth are not working, pull them out, put them on the side, and just don't smile the rest of the presentation. But if your teeth are good, I want to see you smiling. So if you can, it'll be great to see you. Comments, I want your comments. Matter of fact, do me a favor, do a shout out in the comment section. Let us know your name and what type of work you do, be it employed or self-employed. What type of work you do. Go ahead and drop that real quick in my chat. Make sure my chat is working and open on tonight. And I'm gonna ask that you stay muted until called upon to be our conversation, our dialogue part of what we're doing. All right. Other than that, guys, let's move on. Wait a minute, I don't see nobody putting nothing in my chat. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're driving. Okay, never mind. Don't crash. We'll keep on rolling. We'll come back to it. This week's wins. I know you can do this while you're talking now. This week's wins is important. And for our new people, I want to explain real briefly why we do this. Most of you guys that are on this group chat or group call are overachievers. And I love it. I love it. In other words, you want more than what you have right now. You're happy with what you got, but there's a small discontent knowing that you could and you deserve more. Okay? So it's okay to be happy with what you got, but you still can want more. All right? With that being said, a lot of times we overlook all our wins and go right to our losses. I think most people I talk to, they focus more on what they don't have than what they do have. Some of you overlook tiny wins, not realizing that those tiny wins can lead to big wins. I know for me personally, those little wins, they add up over time. If you let them add up the way you need to, then you'll start stacking some stuff and get the one thing I call the big mo or momentum. All right, so real quick, I want to hear at least 2 to 3 weeks wins. I don't care how small, how minute, but I want to hear you tell me about something that was good that happened this week to you. All right, go ahead, open the chat up. New people, don't be scared because I will volunteer you in a moment. So Delshana, you been on for a while. I need to hear a win. I know you got a win. Well, number one, you survived. That's a win.
Number one, I survived COVID. Number two, I actually rested during some of my COVID stay and did not attend certain meetings and stuff to make sure I could get some sleep. Number three, we had our annual worship arts conference. I kept my movement to a minimum, but I still sold 7 books. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I'm talking about boom. See, now you're just this published author doing all kind of big things. I like it. Man. I like it. I like rolling with you. I like rolling with authors and things. Not just one book, but how many books you got total? Oh, she froze up on us. She got a few of them. Yeah, all right. Who else? Give me another win. Somebody else. Who's got a win? Give me a win. What happened? Something good happened this week. I know it did. Don't lie to me. New people, don't be scared. Jump on in. Oh, y'all going to act new today? Oh, good. Robbie, give me a win. I don't care what it is. Give me a win. I need to hear something good. There's an old song that says, tell me something good.
I spoke at the Mindset Brunch this weekend, and I also was able to get my ad done to get in their pamphlet.
Beautiful. So see how you minimize that? You spoke at a big event, which is something you've been afraid to, I'm gonna put it this way. You pretty much will speed through all the other sessions. Now you're a professional speaker. So you're gonna breeze over that, Robbie? Really? I remember how nervous you were the first time. Now it's like, oh, I just had a speaking engagement. Oh, that's how you get down now?
Oh no, don't believe the hype. I was still nervous, but I got through it. It's getting better, like you said. As I keep doing it, it's gonna get better.
Well, good. That's a great win. That's a win, guys. Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Rob. See how you was gonna overlook that? That was huge. And you got put in a book too. So you was in one of them little booklet things with your flyer on it. Say, come on, Robbie, come on now. Good job, good job, good job, good job. All right, Miss Tiffany, give me a win. I see you. I see you. You can't hide. I go to church and people go there and they put their little one finger up. I'm like, I can see you. Tell me something good, Tiffany. What you got?
I actually made it to your coaching class.
Wow.
And I was with Delshana this weekend at the Worship Arts Conference. And I finished my flyer for my new bounce house business today.
Boom. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's a win. Great job. Well, you're hanging out with good people. Delshana's good people.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being on the call tonight. And hopefully we'll share something that'll tweak you just a little bit. Hopefully something, a little nugget, something that'll make you shift something a little bit, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump into it. I appreciate those wins, but see how we minimize wins. Those were big wins. I mean, come on. This Worship Arts Conference, which Delshana was just posting all over the place, I look at it as being amazing, and look at now the results. All right, let's go next. So, boss moves. We're talking tonight about boss moves. So I'm not going to be talking about little bitty moves. I'm not going to be talking about $5. I'm going to be talking about some boss moves. How do you go from being in one stage in your life to being in another stage of your life? I think for me, the hardest thing was the transition from I was in the military. I did the military for 7 years, and to step out from a government job that got paid every 2 weeks to now stepping into your own business. And when I stepped into my own business, I actually stepped into my own business with a new house, 2 car payments, a new baby. My wife was taking care of the kids at that point. So I was the sole support, and pretty much we were just out there because I knew it was more painful for me to stay in the military, not because it was bad, but because it wasn't what I wanted to do for my life. And I'm so glad I did that 26 years ago. Did it and didn't look back. But with that being said, there was a transition that had to happen. Some of you right now are in that transition to where you're actually going from working for someone else to now becoming your own boss. Now, this is a one-step boss move. I want to show you maybe 3 more steps to making some boss moves. In other words, looking beyond just saying that you got your own time, okay? So first step is most guys are employees, okay? Now, some of you have already stepped off your job doing your thug, fizzle, doing your thing, but some of you are still holding on to the job, holding on to the business, and you're working both of them, and you're tired, okay? And the good news is being an employee is okay. I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute, because you do have a job. Number 2 is moving from employee to being self-employed. So in other words, you now go from working within a job to owning a job, okay? Now, I do wanna note here that I use the initials JOB, which is just over broke, okay? So when you are an employee, you JOB, just over broke. And then when you become self-employed, if you're not careful, you'll now own your business per se, or maybe the business owns you, but we'll talk about that too. But it's also a point to where a lot of people really haven't shifted yet. I know a lot of people that own businesses, but really they don't own the business owns them, okay? Business owner is the next phase, and that's where you own a system. And you actually now take what you know, pour into other people, and so now you just become needed, but not necessary. And that's a good place to be. And then when you become an investor, you run everything. In other words, you're not in the mix, you're outside just writing checks and receiving checks. How many know that just writing checks and receiving checks sound pretty good? If that sounds pretty good, just like my girl Tiffany doing, just put a nod to your head like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But what happens with most people is they kind of get stuck in areas to where now you might move from an employee to self-employed, but then you get stuck there. And then you'll move from self-employed to being a business owner, then you'll get stuck there. And the key being is ultimately, I believe all of us on this call want to become investors, because how many would love their money making money for them? In other words, only thing you're doing is sitting back and collecting a check. Like I own 2 trucking companies. I don't know where any of those trucks are. I have 4 of them. I couldn't tell you right now where those trucks are at. I don't know how much gas is. I don't know what it costs. I don't care. Just send me a check. That's all I care about. And so when those checks come in, we do a little party and then we keep moving, because I don't have to do anything. But for many of you, you haven't thought that far yet of getting to the place that, because here's something I want to blow up real quick. You have to work hard. Who said that? Sounds like some slave stuff. I believe if you learn to work smarter, you want to work as hard. Me and Anissa in our personal coaching sessions, we've been talking about this a little bit. First thing I told her immediately is, look, I'm not looking for you to work like Kunta Kinte and Kizzy in this doggone business. You can cancel all that. So for some of you that are gonna be sitting down with me for some personal coaching, we're gonna talk about this right away, because we're gonna set the standard of where you wanna go, which is to become an investor, okay? I know some of you are like, well, I love what I do, good. But you can probably love it more and do more when you're freer, okay? Just a thought there. But let's chase this down. I'm gonna chase this down tonight, okay? So that transition to be a boss, how do I transition? First of all, it's gonna be a mindset change. For some of you, you have to transition from thinking that I have to do everything. Some of you are in that phase right now that if I don't do it, it don't get done. And it's sad, because when you get that mindset, then now only you can do it. And you become the business and the business becomes you. And if something happens to you, there goes the business. It only takes one good Fred Sanford. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. And before you know it, your business is shut down if you're the only one running it. And so that mindset and that philosophy does not work to make millions that I'm going to talk to you about. Because on this call, we talk about millions. We talk about making 10,000 to 100,000 per day. Look at somebody and say, that's what I'm talking about. See, any other group, let's go ahead and make this $100 a day. Cancel all that. I'm talking about making $100,000 per day. I'm talking about making $75,000 per month, $18,750 per week, $37.50 per day, $900,000 per year of just yeah, I said the numbers. I ain't scared of the numbers. But getting to the point where you transition from I just need to make about, I had one of my clients, it's so funny, I just need to make about $2,000 a month. Really? Is that all? You know, Robbie can attest to this and how I feel about how some people make money. I'll let her talk about that later. She bobbing her head because some of you, I don't even know how you're making it. It's like, I need you to make some boss moves. Get to the place to where now you start thinking beyond yourself, beyond yourself. Juneteenth is coming up. I'm going to throw this out there. You owe it to your ancestors to become next level. You owe it to your ancestors to become next level. They didn't do all they did and went through all they went through for you just to survive. I need you to get out of survival mode and let's jump into thrive mode. In other words, let's talk about being a boss. And when I say being a boss, I mean a real boss. I don't mean a broke boss. Because you know a lot of broke bosses. A lot of people perpetrating fraud. You know, we don't want you to do that. I want you to be someone that's actually a boss and you can do things that others can't do because you're gonna do things that others won't do. I love this Kevin Hart statement. Kevin Hart said, everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to put in the work. And the key being is not having the mindset to actually get a plan, work the plan, know what the end game is. Some of you are starting out and you're doing great stuff, but my question is gonna be, what is the end game? What are you looking to do? Why are you doing all of this? Why are you putting yourself through all this? What is it gonna take you to? All right? So we're gonna talk about that for a minute because a lot of times we don't appreciate the process. We try to achieve stuff so quick that you don't figure out how you did it. You ever been, and you can put this in my chat, if you're one of those people that you do stuff, you look back and it's like, I don't even know how I got here. That's because you were so busy trying to get stuff that you didn't focus on the process of getting it. And if you don't remember the process, how can you duplicate what you have done? Is that making any sense? If that's making any sense, just say, yep, inside my chat. Because at some point you have to realize that you have to know what you're doing, how you're gonna do it, and where you're planning to end up, okay? So with this transition from being self-employed to from being an employee is, I believe it's a great position to be in. Now, some of you haven't realized it yet, that you're probably in the best place in that you actually are working for someone. Here is the blessing of working for someone, is now you get an opportunity to grow, mature. You get an opportunity to stack them chips. You get an opportunity to lay it down to where now you actually are getting seed for your next level of business. The big problem with a lot of people is they're doing all this stuff, but there's really no end game to it. I remember when I used to work 2, 3, 4 jobs, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, or working 3, 4 jobs and still broke, and still wondering why am I still broke? Because there was no end game on how long I was gonna do it. Many of you on this screen are still employees, which is good, and you're able to work overtime. But if you're making overtime money to buy Gucci and Fendi, then you're gonna miss the point on why that job can become a great seed source. In other words, everything you're getting from that job can be poured into that next phase of your life, okay? How many already know on this call that you were destined to be a self-employed? You were destined to be a business person. I mean, I remember myself personally in the 7th grade, I had a briefcase, you know, so there was no doubt in my mind what I was gonna be doing. It was just not if, it was just when it was gonna all come together, okay? Some of you are still struggling in between the employee and self-employment phase because you're, there's 2 words I wanna use, afraid and scared. So you're scared. You're scared to step out and become what you know you can be. So you're kind of stuck in the middle of that to where now it's like, well, I like what I do in my job, but I know there's more. I like what I'm doing, but I just know that this ain't the end game. And unfortunately, some of you will live out the next 10, 15 years in that job, which is not bad. Because like I said, a job is not bad. I mean, being an employee is cool. You just show up, get paid. But if you use it the right way, it's an opportunity now to get resources for that next phase of your life. Okay? You don't want to eat up your seed in this phase. So phase number one, if you're writing it down, is employee. So being an employee, you don't want to get the seed from the job and then just waste the seed. You want to take that seed and stack it up. But now, what are you stacking it up for? To be self-employed, whatever that would be. So some of you, while you're in this job, just over broke, you want to now start taking a portion. So right now, if you're not already doing this, you need to portion your income out in your employee stage. In other words, get to the point to where I believe you should do 10% in charity. I do. I believe you should do 15% to yourself. I believe you should then have a little fun and then pay your bills. But your bills shouldn't be more than 50%, including your housing. If it is, then you might need to say that you're a little too bougie right now, because there's a lot of people that are house rich and money poor. And you don't want to be house rich and cash poor. That don't make no good sense. But in the employee phase, that's what can lock you in, okay? Make sure you're able to now separate those things out to where you're able to now put more money away to invest into your next phase. Remember, where you're at is cool. I'm not banging on where you're at, I promise. Being an employee was cool for me, but I always knew that that wasn't the end result, okay? So now making that transition from employee to self-employed is a matter of you saying to yourself, my future is more important than my now. So what do I need to do now to secure my future later? Maybe some of you need to start selling some stuff. You don't want to hear that. No, I ain't selling nothing. Well, how bad do you really want that next phase? Are you willing to take the seed you have? And here's the big thing, guys, I want to throw out there. Most of you are thinking that you have harvest when you just have seed. Everything you have right now ain't your harvest. If it is, really? Is that the harvest? Are you kidding me? So it means that it must be just more seed. So I use money as seed. I stack it. Like right now, I'm working on a 22 unit apartment complex right now. I'm trying to make the numbers work. Some of you are going to jump in on this, but let me work the numbers first. But anyway, I'm working on it, 2.9 million. I'm trying to make it and see how I can maneuver it. But I've been stacking my little chips. Matter of fact, I have a little ghetto property that I'm going to cash in to put more money towards that. See, guys, I want to teach you that as an employee, you still have opportunities to prepare for that next level. But my key is going to be, do you really want the results? Or do you want to say or look good versus actually, it's almost like acting blessed instead of being blessed, if I can use that terminology. You know, I would rather be blessed, you know, not bragging, I promise. And here's what I believe bragging is: saying stuff that ain't true. I believe if I say something that's true, it ain't bragging. Okay, I'm stroking the check. I mean, it's $550, but I stroked the check for it. I didn't have to go through a whole lot of stuff. I didn't call no finance man. I just wrote the check. So with that being said, it was only because I stacked up my seed to sow into things. But this seed even came from a business. This wasn't even my money. It was something that came from a seed that I sowed into something else. Okay, so as an employee, stack those chips. I did that. Now build up. Okay. Next thing is self-employed. So once you step out of your job, which if you're on this Zoom tonight and you're really saying to yourself, I really want to leave my job, I want you to do a confession tonight. My name is ... and I want to leave my job. Put it in the chat. I'm serious. I need you to make a confession tonight. My name is ... and I'm ready to leave my job. Okay? That to me is the first thing that you need to know what your next step is. So now with that being said, how do you transition? Number one is all timing. Making sure you're in the right place at the right time. Making sure you know exactly what you're going to need to get to that next phase. Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I took a leap of faith when I started out 26 years ago, because to leave a government job into a self-employed job, there was no net there. no safety, no net, nothing to hold on to. I didn't have no parents with money. A matter of fact, it's sad. I couldn't even tell my mom that I was transitioning. I couldn't call my mom. If I'd have called my mom and said, hey, mom, I'm about to leave this job and start my own business. She'd be like, boy, you crazy. Something wrong with you. But now, a couple months from now, I'm taking my mom to Paris. I bought my mom a house. I bought my mom cars. So the businesses have done the things that she didn't think it could do because she got stuck in the employee phase. But now she's a business owner because I stepped out. Some of you haven't realized it yet, but you are the one that's going to change a whole generation because you're going to step out and other people are going to watch you and they're no longer going to be afraid to step out. Okay? Because now that move from employee to business person is crazy. Okay? But we want to make sure that you are prepared for it. Once you go from self-employed, you go to business owner. Now, here's the difference here. And this is important because once you go from self-employed, go from employee to self-employed, now you pretty much call shots. You run your hours, you do. This is going to take more discipline than most people realize. The discipline is going to be that now I have to now do the things I said I was going to do, and nobody's going to make me do it. I have to now not punch a clock. For me, I have to literally force myself to stop. Because once you're actually your own business, you have to tell yourself, we're going to stop at this time and this time. Because it's a different process than when you're working for someone else. When you're working for someone else and you get up at 4, at 3:57, you already at the clock. But when you're working for yourself, it keeps going, okay? Now with the self-employed, it's important because now you can implement what you learned being an employee. Because when you were an employee, you actually were able to now do some other things, okay? But now you can implement all those things to make it work, okay? Now, from self-employed to business owner, you now are able to own a system. So business owners own systems. And what that means is now you're the one that owns a system that can employ other people to work your system. So in other words, you've established something. Now you can hire employees and now they can do the work that either A, you shouldn't be doing at this level, or B, to be quite honest, you just don't want to do no more. I think at certain points, there's certain things you just don't want to do. Anybody right now self-employed doing stuff they just don't want to do, but they're doing it because nobody else is there to do it. But once you shift into a business owner, you now can hire people to do those things, okay? Then the last phase is investor. And all an investor does is buy businesses that are already established. In other words, getting to that place now to all the money you've stacked from being and doing, you now can start investing into other businesses. Notice I didn't say people. You want to invest in other businesses, people that are doing something that A, you really don't want to do, but B, you know could be a very lucrative thing. And there is some results in what they're already doing. They just need some help in doing what they're doing, okay? This is important because a lot of people won't move to that next level. They'll kind of stay there, okay? Because there's 4 stages of growth. And here are the 4 stages. Number 1, training. So you first want to be trained. That's where I believe the employee status helps you. Because now you can be trained to do the work. You can be trained on how to lead people, trained how to do processes and systems. In other words, you can get good training to do that next phase, which is now teaching. Teaching comes to where now you take what you know and you show somebody else. And I think once you get to a teaching phase or stage of growth, then now you begin to teach others what you know. So now, which is the next stage, is transition. You can transition to where now they do it and you can transition away from it. And then the last thing is trusting, which goes into our investor phase, to where now you literally just write a check and you trust somebody to do what needs to be done. To where now you're beyond these phases, because many people, especially my overachievers, they believe that nobody can do it as good as they can. And you are probably right. But if you can find somebody to give you 80% of what you can do, that's a whole lot better than your 100%. Because then now you can scale that, which we're not going to deal with today, but we need to deal with scaling and showing you how to take that business and grow it from being these different levels, okay? Now, I said a lot of stuff. And I know some of it's kind of like, okay, what is he talking about exactly? My biggest thing is realizing that you cannot transition into any of those 4 levels or quadrants until you realize that there's more. Some of you maybe have not even heard about those different adjustments. Some of you have. Now, some of you I'm already coaching, this is all I'm hammering to you, because I really would like you to skip some of those steps and become just investors. But it just depends on how hard you're willing to work the work that you have to build it and then build a team to become what you need to be. Matter of fact, next month is going to be Teams Month, to where I'm going to have you bring your team on and I'm going to coach them and train them to help you, because you need somebody to coach and train your team, because sometimes your team don't know how to play their position as you're learning to play your position. And you need somebody to step in that knows how to make the positions work. All right. So real quick, I need to ask some questions on tonight. Number one, Anissa, you're already off of mute. What did you pick up tonight that maybe you haven't picked up from our conversations?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. I think as far as for me, I need to look back and strive a little more as far as, because I am in a process, I'm getting my website up, getting things taken care of. So that's something that we have to talk about tomorrow. But in general, like we spoke upon, just not doing the overtime and just making sure that I put everything into my business instead of tiring myself out trying to do extra things for myself. So that's the number one thing for me, that it's a must. It's a must.
Yeah. And Anissa, you're at that stage now to where you've been at your job long enough to where now it's just a matter of taking what you've gotten, as we've been talking, and transitioning that into that next phase. You know, for some of you that don't know, Anissa, she owns Madison's Janitorial Service as of last week. Congratulations. Yes, I have her on a fast track within 30 days. Our goal is to have contracts. And she is moving expeditiously towards these goals that we have set. So kudos to you, Anissa, because every week I'm meeting with her. She is heading and she's marking those goals, and I had to slap her around a little bit, but she's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But you're doing great, because in 30 days, like I told her, we're gonna have some contracts. We're gonna have some money, because what happens is, once again, the results is what we're after in this, okay? Good, thank you so much, Anissa, for sharing. All right, I got my girl, Tiffany. Tiffany, you kind of sat back on me. What's going on? What's going on through your head? I see you thinking back there. I see you kind of faded to black, and it's like, man, what is this dude talking about?
I can just say, wow. Can I say that?
Say wow.
Wow. I think I've been telling Lady Delshana that I wanted to come. And then now that I'm here, it was just like, whoa. I sat back because I was like, this is a lot, but this is definitely what I need. And I don't know after that.
You sit up there. Well, I'm glad you're on tonight. And I do know that a lot of this transition, because right now, what do you do right now for professional? What's your work?
I'm a seamstress, and I have my own building.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I am self-employed.
Self-employed.
And this morning, I was looking for a job. So the reason why I'm here is because after I started looking for a job, I was like, that's ridiculous for you to go backwards. And so you need to get in with a group of people that would keep you propelling forward. And then here I am.
Wow.
So stop that. And I actually own a bounce house business that I got last month, and I didn't start it. So I started that today, that working on the flyer. And I think I just got overwhelmed. So I was like, I need to get with people that can show me my future, because I'm trying to run back to the past.
Wow, that's a whole lot to unpack right there. But the good news is we can unpack that week by week, because ultimately, once I know where you're at, and generally what I do is I do an assessment with you, and we find out what you're trying to accomplish, and let's get laser focused on what you're trying to do. I can relate to where you're at, because 24 years ago or so, 25, 23, 24 years ago, I remember thinking to myself, I need to get a job. Things had gotten tough, things had gotten tight, I was tripping. Man, I was gonna go drive a limousine business. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna drive a limo. I'm a man, I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Woo, 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 woo. And man, I got down that limo place and called my wife. Thank God for a good partner, 28 years of an amazing marriage. And she said, baby, what are you doing? And I promised Tiffany, with blinding tears, I didn't care who saw me. I left that building, and that was the last time I ever thought about a J-O-B. At that dark time, it helped me to realize that there was so much more for me to do. I didn't even touch the surface. And I think after that year, things just exploded. So it's getting over that hump. So you're at that hump, but it's a good place to be at. We're about to show you how to accelerate and get to where you want to be quickly. All right? Good job. Good job. Delshana, so good to see you on. Thanks, Stephanie, for sharing. What'd you get? What'd you get? I'm glad you're back in the scene, girl. I miss Blondie.
I'm sitting here looking at the craziness of feeling like I fit in all four places at the same time. So I'm interested. I'm interested in having more clarity to move forward at the same time. And that would just be Delshana in Delshana World. Because we made some power moves to set us up to make some boss moves. But there's still some things that kind of weigh in the balance. And that's just what it is. So I'm excited.
Beautiful. I know for me, the hardest part from employee to self-employed was them doggone benefits the doggone military offered.
The benefits are real.
Man, I'm like, Lord, I can't leave this job because they got some good benefits and my papers need benefits. And it's so crazy the stuff that we give ourselves. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you how I'm a man of faith. And so I believe that there's a God and I'm not him. And so with that, my faith tells me that if I step out and I trust, it'll happen. And so I stepped out, and I'll never forget this. They had this program called Nevada Kids. My wife went and found this program. We paid $40 every quarter to have my kids to have health care. And then me and my wife just prayed for good health. And we were blessed to have it until she got her health benefits. And so it's crazy the stuff that you think about. And then if you have faith, then you can step out, and it's something about when you start moving, things start opening up. It's almost like a lake. A lake just sits, and if it's not in a good place, it gets infested, it gets nasty, it gets dirty. But something about a river, as it keeps flowing, it happens. I talked about this in the beginning, momentum. Some of you just haven't found that momentum or that rhythm yet because you're spread out too thin. And I love Delshana because she's a great thinker and she's all things. But I'm gonna work on getting you focused so we can get this thing knocked out. Good job, good job, good job. All right, I got I already talked to Miss Anissa. Robbie, what you thinking? What you got?
I just know, like you said, when you get ready to step out, it is a mindset. It's a mindset shift, like you said. And sometimes you have to do stuff before your mind catch up to it. Because if you think about it too long, you're not gonna do it. So sometimes, like you said, you gotta go do it, then see what the results is of you doing it.
Absolutely.
Because we have a tendency to overthink everything, and we will think ourselves right out of something else.
Wow. Hey, girl, sound like you got a good coach. I'm just throwing it out there. Wow. that sounds like reverberatation. That's right. We've been talking about this stuff. This is good because really that's what it boils down to. You know, it's all about the action. You know, and Robbie knows I'm not the smartest guy. You know, I worked for a high school diploma and 8 months of high quality community college. So, and a bunch of certifications. But it's crazy how it lets me
Waiting
know
for
that
connection. Bluetooth.
it is action. That's good stuff. Well, Robbie, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, who else we got on the call tonight? Terrell, what you got, T? T, I know you ducked on a little late, but you got a little nugget.
Thanks for, can you hear me good?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. I mean, I just love these classes, you know, just listening to everybody's successes, and just the biggest thing I got from working with you, listening to you for the past, I guess, couple of months we've been, you know, talking, is just being prepared. You know, I do have a full-time job that I'm working, and it's working for me right now, and I'm just working on trying to stack those chips. So I'm available for the multifamily properties, for the one-off properties. So just making sure that I'm available and being prepared is the best thing that I can get from these weekly calls.
Well, man, you're definitely there, man. I tell you what, I think we met a week, and within what, a couple of weeks or a month, you already had your first property.
Yeah, probably within 30 days for sure.
Within 30 days. Wow, that's crazy. But the key is, once again, you were ready. And by the time we came along, it just opportunity presented itself. And that's funny how time and opportunity, when it hits, is crazy. You just gotta be ready. So I appreciate you, man. Definitely. Speaking of which, yeah, I gotta chat with you because I definitely got some deals that are working. You know me, I'm always working on something. I'm just working on the numbers right now. I'm a numbers guy. Tiffany, where's Tiffany at? Let's see, I see Tiffany. Did I already talk to you, Tiffany? I did. Let's see, Julian, that's who I was talking about. Julian, what'd you get on tonight? Appreciate you being on board.
Oh gosh, so much I've gotten. This is my first time being in on this Zoom, and I saw the invitation and I said, oh, I need to be on this call. It just spoke right to where I'm at, and I've been taking notes. I've been listening, just really feeling like I'm not alone. I have been a self-employed. I would say 75% of my income comes through my self-employment. So I'm at the second phase, and I really want to move on and become a business owner. I need help. So I definitely want to talk to you about coaching, and yeah, I'm ready.
Perfect. And I think these quadrants, once again, guys, and Julian, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I appreciate you. My goal and my intent is to see how I can get you further faster. You know, I got 26 or 27 years of being out, I call it out in these streets. And I've learned a lot. And so in my learning, though, I've learned how to do really well, but I've also learned some serious failure. And so within all that, if I can get you to bypass some stuff and get right to where you're going, that would be my goal. Because that employee is great. Self-employed is cool, but man, business owner, that's when you step in your game up. And then investor, of course, is where now, and like I said, you'll hear me say some things in this call. Please don't take it as bragging. I just want to let you know what you can do. And if you're not around people that have done it, it's hard to fathom that it can be done. Like for me, I told my boys, once President Obama became president, that takes away all excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody else did it, that means that it can be done. And like I said, it don't take a whole lot of education. It just takes some hard work, the ability to fail, because in success, there is failure. And so realizing that's just a part of the game, so you keep going. So man, Julian, I appreciate you being on tonight, and definitely hang out with us, and whatever we can do to help, we're here for you, okay?
Thank you so much for the invite. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Cool. All right, who else I got on tonight? I got Troy, man, what you doing? I know you're out there rolling, enjoying your day off. What'd you get tonight?
Really just continue to absorb and learn, you know, humble yourself and understand that you don't know everything, which is something I do know, just great reminders. My message is still the same, you know, I enjoy these Zooms. I've been off all day handling business, so I kind of feel like I've been running around with my head cut off. You know, it's so much to do, but that just tells me, you know, be more organized, but that's besides the point. Stay focused with what's going on and take advantage, you know, so I can grow. But I'm very appreciative.
Beautiful, 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 man. I appreciate you being on as you, man. And look forward to sitting down with you tomorrow for our first actually coaching session. I got some things I want to talk to you about. So excited about sitting down with you and going through and getting into that. Also, I think that I want to hit real quick because I know our time is running. I don't like to keep you guys longer than an hour. So I want to get to our 30-day challenge. Now, I know some of you haven't been a part yet, but I'm doing a 30-day challenge. And with that 30-day challenge, here's the criteria. If you can, I want you to take a picture of this with your phone, if you're not on your phone, of course. But we want you to set a 30-day goal. Many of you have already set this on the call, but the key is making sure that we know what we're trying to shoot for. You know how you're going to accomplish it, and you're going to lock time to make it happen. And also finding out where you're going to work on it. Because some of you need to get away from where you're at. Some of you need to get to a Starbucks, you need to get out the house. You know, we've gotten too used to being in the house and getting distracted. And then the last thing is what your pain point is. Because some of you, I had to give you pain points. If you don't do what you said, then this is what you're going to give up. And so Anissa, I got it written down. Let's see what I put down there for Anissa. I wrote it all down. I got Angie on here. She's not on the call tonight. Let's see. I got Robbie on here. Let's see. Who else I got? I got a few of you guys on here that, matter of fact, Anissa, what's your pain point? You can tell us real quick. We open.
The exercise for 10 minutes. And
no, what you couldn't do.
No.
What we're going to do if you don't do what you said.
No more wine. No more wine.
There's no more celebration without the result.
No more.
So we talked about that, absolutely. You know what? I forgot to ask Dr. K. Thank you so much for sharing. Dr. K, how's it going? What we doing with our 30-day challenge? Where you at?
Yeah, we might want to talk about that later.
Right. But where'd you go tonight?
I just came back from out of town.
You know what? The excuses are flying, boy. I tell you.
It's
I ain't want to
legit.
gossip. You ain't heard of me.
You know, when you go to a funeral, they don't really have the right food, you know.
So that pain point again. What was that pain point?
Actually, I'm not doing too bad. So the pain point was to give up coffee for a week.
Give up coffee for a week. And you being a person of integrity. Wow. Okay, that's pretty.
Yeah, and that's a pain point. I want to let you know that is a pain point. Don't try to close your mouth.
Nah. So real quick, Dr. K, what did you get on tonight?
Okay, so this was really good tonight as usual. So my biggest takeaway was this. If you could get somebody to do it at 80%, that's as good as your 100%. Well, it's as good as your 100%. So, I don't know anything about 80%. And so, yeah, I need to accept that. If I can get somebody to help me to do what I do at 80%, at least it's still getting done.
Well, it deals with, once again, going back to my thing, which is results. If we want real results, we're going to have to allow other people, especially to move through that transition. If you're in a transition fully, it can't be you doing it, because once again, if you go down, then there goes the whole business. So we got to develop or duplicate ourselves and make it work, which is good. So I appreciate you. Good stuff. Cherie, I saw you jumped on. What did you get or pick up? I know you're rolling. You're looking away. Look like you were. Oh, there you go.
Good evening, sir.
Hey. How's that new salon going?
I'm trying to going. Also, I have started promotions that is picking up. Which is exciting. Happy.
Uh-oh, Sharia, you're broken up real bad.
I'm sorry, we're breaking up because I'm traveling here. Did you hear me?
Uh-oh, look like you're driving and we can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I think
Okay, let me see if I can
we have to come back to you. We'll come back to you.
hear.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think I hit you with the mute. Can you come back now? There you go. Oh, we can't hear you now. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a bad connection. It's a bad connection. But that's okay. That's okay. Well, once you get to a good point, we'll come back to you. But yeah, Sharia, amazing. She wanted to own a salon too. Now she owns and runs her own salon. I'm excited to see the results in just a few months, that now she's been able to accomplish a goal as we've been working together to get her there, which is cool. All right, did I miss anybody tonight? Anybody else want to share that I missed?
I'll share really quick, Mr. Williams, before I jump into my class. In the class on tonight, I got the either your business working you or you working your business. And my takeaway from that is I think I'm at the space right now where I am working the business. I'm into the working on the systems now so that we can have pretty much a systematic way of doing what we do so that it can be easily relayed and trained to those preparers that will come on board.
Perfect. You're doing a great job too. Just to see you grow and become who you have become is amazing. You know, I'm now living with a boss lady. I love it. Just keep going, keep moving, and appreciate that. Thank you for those comments. I think right now we're all in that transition, either one way or another. You know, like I'm transitioning into the investor role. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses that I'm just investing in. I'm not doing anything besides collecting checks, you know, and it makes a big difference. I promise you, once you get to that next phase. I'm still cruising in, trying to get somebody to take my spot, you know, but even in that, guys, you have to have dates. Like I have dates on when I know I'm going to be out. And some of you need to set a date. So those of you that are employees, I challenge you, I double dare you, set a date and say, you know what, on such and such a date, I'm out. And then what are we going to do to get you there? That's what we need to sit down and talk, because we need to figure out exactly step by step what we need to do to get you out that door. Okay. I'm already speaking to another one of my clients, and she's actually out. We made a date, January 2023. She is leaving her job of 20 something years to pursue her passion. And the cool thing is, you know, when people make that decision, you now can move forward and be excited now about being an employee, knowing that you're not done. But if you're in an employee role and you don't necessarily want to be there and you haven't set a date, then I advise you set a date. All right. All right. Let's go a little further. I got a couple minutes and then we're out of here. But those of you that are new, please write these down. I would love to hear. Email me, text me about the things you're going to be doing. Tiffany, Jillian, I want to hear. Email me, text me, let me know what can you do in the next 14 days? What's the day? Is the day 16th or 17th? 16th. So in 14 days, what can we accomplish together? Email me. I'm gonna give you a call. We're gonna set it up. All right. Last thing is, or next to last thing is, what's stopping you from being your best version, guys? What's stopping you? Is it just you? Is it just you? Or is it just you? In most cases, guess what? It's you. And so we want to work on helping you become that next best version. Not that what you're doing is bad, but what if we can make you better? And what if it's just one tweak, one little saying, one thought, or just realizing that other people are doing it on that other level? Maybe that'll help, okay? Why do you need a performance coach? And I throw out the word performance. I need to see results. So I can't say that I'm a life coach because to me, you can't get result. You can't measure that. I want to measure what we're actually going to accomplish. In other words, what are you trying to do? How can I get you there? And how mad can I get you at me in some occasions? Because in some thoughts, you've already made up your mind on what you're not going to do. But what you made your mind up on what you're not going to do is what's stopping you from doing what you should be doing or need to be doing. Okay? So it makes a big difference. Accountability, guys, it closes the gap between good intentions and results. And once again, guys, this is results driven, I promise. I want to see you doing and living your dream. And I want to put a date on it. I want to put a time on it. I want to see when we started working together to where you're at now. How long will it take us to get you to where you're trying to get to? Okay, let's get measurable. Don't go it alone. Get help. I promise, if you could be what you wanted to be, you'd already be that. So obviously it means you need some help. And I don't believe there's anything wrong with getting some help, okay? How can I help you? I've actually established now within my office, I do all these things: insurance, investments, home buying, mortgages, estate planning, LLC, tax preparation, tax resolution, loan forgiveness, debt consolidation, credit repair. I have all that access. So when I say results, I literally mean results. So we're not going to talk about what you're going to do. We're going to show you how to get those things done. All right? Value exchange. In this value exchange, it's really to where I talked about earlier. There's times in your life when you're seed, and also there's times in your life when you're soil. Tonight, you guys were good soil, and I was sowing seed into you guys. Now, what happens in a value exchange, it should go both ways. To where now I become your soil, and you start sowing into me. So that way now there's a reciprocation of learning and growing. And if I can teach you this concept, then now you'll start valuing your time. Right now, some of you are still going up for hourly wage. I laugh when people tell me I make $30 an hour. Well, let's break that down. When you really think about it in the scheme of things, that ain't no money. So don't go off of that value. Don't go off of your time, but go off of what you're giving to people, okay? I have a client right now I'm working on, and it's a big thing, and it's big stuff. And we try to make sure we work together. So now on this weekly group virtual coaching call is $99 per month. And pretty much every first of the month, you kick in. And you can go to Cash App, Zelle. For those of you that are new, I just want you to ride with me for the end of the month. If it works, hang out with me. If it don't, well, it will. It's just a matter of how much you want to do and how bad you want it. And how much you value yourself, okay? Because really it comes back to, do I value me enough to sow into me to get to that next level, okay? And that's important. That's something you have to decide. Now, some of you are a little beyond this, and actually many of you now are stepped into my individual coaching, to where you're actually meeting with me every single week, and we're actually coaching you and putting you in position to win. Right now on this very call, I have 2 that are actually taking the individual coaching, and I guarantee you that we're making some serious progress. I know one alone, it was like, what? I can't believe we're moving this fast. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for results. And so I want to get you to the place to where now you actually get to what you've been talking about, okay? But that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Other than that, appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. It is 7:03. Do me a favor. Don't keep me a secret. Tell a friend. Let's grow together. And one thing I want you to know is I want you to be great. I'm not afraid or intimidated by your greatness. Matter of fact, I believe we can all be great together. So guys, take care. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week, Thursday. I can't wait to hear all the great things that you're doing. And you guys be good. All right. Blessings.